G'day guys, this is a build guide with some RPG this time. So we're going to have some background, we're going to have some stories, we're going to go over the build, and then we're going to go over the gear. So, hopefully, if I figured it out, there should be timestamps in this video to skip to different sections, and I hope you enjoy the video. I will be doing more of these in the future. Okay, bye. The Ranger. Born in the year 2292, the Ranger grew up on a farm in the outer regions of Freestar Collective Space, raised to live in the wild frontier. The Ranger was trained in use of pistols at the age of 5, so he could protect their land if the need arose. The Ranger had a relatively peaceful childhood, with no more than the occasional encounters with bandits and rangers passing through. He always found excitement seeing the rangers pass by, always waved to them, and dreaming about one day becoming a great protector just like them. The peaceful life of the Ranger only lasted until the year 2308, when the conflict and war returned to the Freestar Territory in the form of the Colony Wars. This marked a major turning point in the Ranger's life, the end of his innocence and peace. The bombs came quickly, shaking the ground and burning the land. After the dust had settled, the Ranger, now orphaned, wandered in shock for days. On the brink of death from dehydration, he was found by a squad of Freestar soldiers, who watered and fed him, then offered the Ranger a chance to join the fight for the colonies. Having nothing left, the Ranger agreed. Over the next 3 years, the Ranger fought alongside the Freestar army, honing his skills with firearms to an impressive level. The Ranger grew accustomed to the soldier's life, growing from an orphaned farm boy to a skilled gunslinger, soldier, and persuasive talker. Once the war had ended, in 2311, he spent the next 19 years wandering the verse, doing odd jobs like bounty hunting, private security, and even mining, whatever you could get to survive after the war. So begins the events of Starfield in 2330. The Ranger's personality is that of an honorable man, as much as the soldier can be. He leans heavily in the idea of frontier justice and doing the right thing, but will not turn down a morally great job if the money is good enough. He values his friends he makes, as he knows true friends are hard to find. Although he can smoothly talk his way out of trouble and talk down most hostiles, and prefers to do so at first step, he will not hesitate to use his skills with the big iron to solve his problems. Okay, we are checking out the build now. This is on Nukes Dragons. The link will be in the description for the full build. We are going to be using the background for Soldier. For obvious reasons, if you've watched through the story section, we are going to have the soldier past. We have 1 in fitness, 1 in ballistics, and 1 in booster pack training. Very helpful skills to get started with. Now, the first skill I suggest you get when you level up is Persuasion. Now, our character is going to be a charismatic gunslinger soldier, and we want to make use of that as soon as possible. And the way the levels work in this game is you need to actually have the skill unlocked to start working towards later levels. It does not work retroactively, is the word I'm looking for. Now, this can take you a very long time. There's quite a few persuasion checks in the game, and it is honestly, RPG rise, very fun to do. So I highly suggest you get Persuasion first thing you do, just so you can start making use of those persuasions and start leveling it up as soon as possible. Next on the list, you're going to want Security. That will be your 3rd level, and then everything else kind of comes in what order you want it in. I would suggest putting a level into Medicine and one into targeting and weightlifting. Right. Now that we've got the important skills for what you want to level up first, let's just go over each skill type and why we're going to be using them. Fitness. Fitness comes with the soldier background. Sprinting and power attacks now do significantly less oxygen. Basically, it gives you a bunch of oxygen. Oxygen is your stamina in this game. The more you have, the faster you can build up, longer you can run, longer you can jump, things like that. Now, the whole power attacks now use significantly less oxygen is completely useless to us because we're going to be using range, but the additional oxygen we get from that is just cherry. And it is a free skill because we do get it with the soldier, so it's going to be leveling up no matter what. Just put some points into it whenever you want. It's not a high priority. Weightlifting. Weightlifting is a high priority because of how useful this skill is in the game. You're going to start off with an additional 10 kilos at the start, and then you're going to want to run around to get the next level and the next level and the next level. You can farm this pretty easy. It's just going to be relatively tedious, so you may as well just do it as you play through the game. Next we have wellness. This is a low importance skill. Pretty much everything on the physical is kind of low apart from the weightlifting, which is incredibly good for quality of life. But I would suggest getting increased health as you go further into the levels. Next up is social. Again, we are a charismatic build. This is for RPG purposes. Grab this bad boy, level it up as soon as you can. As soon as you've done 3 speech challenges, you should bank a skill point to get it up to rank 2, and then rank 3, and then rank 4. It just makes things so much easier and so much more amusing when you can persuade yourself out of situations. We'll come back to combat later. Now, the next tree. This is obviously medicine. It's incredibly useful. That's basically it. It increases the amount you heal. Beautiful stuff. Now, the reason we get this, I would have left the science tree completely untouched and not gotten medicine if this wasn't here. This will allow us to mod our pistol to the point where it is an absolute monster. We want that. We want that as a gunslinger. Moving over to tech. Now, you don't need to go this one. You can go energy weapons. Really, whatever you want for this damage output. I chose ballistic weapons just because I'm going to be using a lot more of those. So I chose ballistic weapons. Moving on, I just have level 1 in booster pack training. Completely fine to have. You don't really need the other levels. They're nice to have, but it really doesn't. It's not massive. Now, when it comes to piloting, I grabbed the first 2 levels. Everything else of that is kind of up to you. If you want Class B and Class C ships, and there's plenty of ships in the game that you can get for free that are just absolutely amazing. So I found there's absolutely no need to get these. Security, one of the most important skills in the game. Grab it as soon as possible. Level it up every single time you can. Nothing more to be said about that. Targeting system. This is super useful for taking out engines of enemy vehicles. You're going to want to take them out of the water. The slower they are, the easier they are to hit. It kind of works like VATS, I suppose, is what they're going for. It slows down time, gives you different targets to lock onto, and then you can focus fire on those instead of just whatever you hit reshooting. Alright, now over to the combat. This is the primary tree, as we are an absolute killing machine. You start off with level 1 in ballistics, which is great, but you want to get pistol certification as soon as possible. This pretty much just increases your overall damage, and at the last rank, pistol kills get a plus 25% critical hit chance for 5 seconds after a kill, which is pretty easy to get a kill because we're outputting so much damage. Over here, it's literally just increased damage. Just flat increased damage. That's it. And range is good too at the final level for pistols. That will actually stack with our next... oh, Jesus. My next skill, which is targeting. Now, this is where the gunslinger really shines. We're going to be shooting from the hip pretty much all the time. The only time we need to aim is when we're going to be killing things at a very long range that our pistol cannot hit yet. You're going to be able to hit things pinpoint with hip fire once you get these levels. So, increase the accuracy and range when shooting without aiming, and marks up to one enemy that damages you. Now, these marks actually turn into like basically predator vision. You can see through enemies through walls, kind of like a thermal vision, I suppose. Very cool, very cool. The final rank, you get a 10% chance to disarm a target when you hit them, assuming they live long enough. You don't really need to go that one, but I would suggest it anyway. Marksman. Marksman is our critical and damage. Increases critical hit chance on non-automatic range weapons by 3%. That gets all the way up to 15%. Then critical hits using non-automatic range weapons without a scope do double damage. So double that critical damage. Absolutely amazing. And if we are going to be using a sniper rifle, it also has a chance to knock them down, which is nice, I suppose. It's an option. Armor penetration is a no-brainer. I mean, it's armor penetration. The less armor I have, more damage you do. And enemy armor is decreased by 25% for 6 seconds after a critical hit. Now, we're going to be doing a decent amount of critical hits and relatively often. Now, this one is the last skill you should get for this tree. Just because we're not really going to be aiming for the head a lot. not really. Increases headshot critical damage by 50% with ranged weapons. This one is increased critical enemy legs by 50%. Increases all critical damage enemies to 50% with ranged weapons. Ranged critical hits kills increase your crit chance with all ranged weapons by another 25%. So if you've been following along, we are sitting at 65% critical hit chance after every kill. That can be absolutely insane when we are going on a killing spree. Moving down, we are going to show you the traits. Now, most importantly, is the Freestar Collective Settler trait. You grew up in Freestar Space, you're going to want this. This will give you a lot of nice dialogue options for roleplay for our character, especially during the Ranger questline. Now, I've chosen to choose Extrovert. You're a people person. Exerting yourself uses less oxygen when adventuring with human companions, but more when adventuring alone. This is absolutely amazing. Now, the amount it decreases is probably going to be nerfed, honestly. Like, you can... I don't even think it's 50% decrease, maybe even more. It's insane. You can be running for ages and not have to worry about your oxygen while you have a companion. Absolutely amazing. Third one, kind of up to you. I choose the Wanted because I don't know. I kind of like the idea of having one of the jobs I've done in the past get the attention of somebody who wants to have my head. I've added the wanted skill. The perk of having it also is quite powerful. So, someone put a price on your head and the word has spread. Occasionally, armed mercenaries will show up and try to kill you. But being cornered gives you an edge. When your health is low, you do extra damage. That is incredible. When we are we're almost dead, we're going to be outputting some crazy damage. Obviously, you don't really want that up all the time, but it does help. All right, we're going to move over to the game now. Whoop. This bad boy up. Oh. So this is the Ranger. As it stands, we are rocking a full Ranger outfit, and we are using one of the best pistols in the game, in my opinion. And we are in Ranger HQ. Quick little addition before we continue. This ship and all this gear can be yours by following the Ranger questline in Aquila. Now, obviously, we are a Ranger. That is the entire build. You're gonna wanna follow the questline and yeah, get all this amazing gear. You will get to this planet and this city by just following the main story quest. It's very early on that you can get to this place, so don't be too worried about getting here straight away. And continuing on with the video. HQ. Alright, let's check out the gear. Now, my gun of choice is Elegance. You can buy this from one of the shops in this town here. I have made a video on this already, so feel free to check that one out. I'm rocking the Ranger spaceship, Ranger power pack, Ranger space helmet, and Ranger dual wear. You have all the lovely Ranger stuffs. Now, obviously, the most important thing you need to get when you start this gameplay is a nice cowboy hat. And honestly, I think this is the best one in the game. Settler Adventure hat. I actually found this on Atlanta. Very cool looking. One of the tips I would suggest is when you see 43 Ultra Mag, buy it. Just keep buying it, because our Elegance goes through those bullets like absolute crazy. But it does insane amounts of damage. So it's worth it. So yeah, that's the build. Feel free to like and subscribe if you've somehow made it this far. I really appreciate you all, and I hope you all have a lovely day.